Good day, CCF fam, and welcome to CCF Sunday Fast Track.
We hope that you were blessed by our message today. And this is the second Sunday of our Motivate series. And I really love that topic that we talked about, open communication. And of
Yes,
course, we're being joined by
definitely.
Pastor Peter and Auntie Deona. Hello po.
Hello.
It's very nice to see you in person again.
Finally, yes, it's such a blessing. We were listening earlier and we are a newly married couple. So we were kind of like elbowing each other anytime that we had a great idea that came from the message. But may we ask first, before we go into the discussion, what are some of the practices and habits that you still do now as a couple that keeps open communication in your family?
Well, I think as what he said, we have a time of walking together. We call it walkie-talkie time. So during that time, we really shoulder to shoulder. Men like to talk shoulder to shoulder, by the way. So as we're walking, we talk. And as I was saying earlier to them, when someone gets upset, they just walk faster. So have time to process and then come back together.
It has become a habit that my wife and I usually walk together after dinner. And that's the time when we can discuss questions. And then we also have a habit that when we're about to sleep, we don't bring up any serious topics.
No pillow talk.
So you establish your own pattern.
Actually, we also walk in the morning as well. So 2 times a day.
And it's actually one of the habits that we picked up from you because you always talk about that even in the couple NAR. So
Yeah.
we practice it also for open communication. And Pastor Peter, earlier you were talking a lot about how we have 2 ears, 1 mouth, so that we listen more intently and speak slowly. But for those parents who are watching right now who have children, how do you practice what the Bible teaches about listening intently to your children, especially when you disagree with them?
This is where you have to develop habits, intentional habit. Because most of us have never been trained to listen. We just think it's automatic. But for us, we have to remind ourselves it is important that we learn to listen. We learn to keep quiet. Many times it's so hard to keep quiet because you want to give lecture, you want to tell them what to do immediately. So, learn to practice the habit of listening. It is really, just to encourage everybody, we all need to learn this. It is not automatic, especially for parents. You want to say so many things.
That's such a great reminder. And as Joyce mentioned earlier, we are a newly married couple. So I have this very hard-hitting question for you, Pastor Peter. For newly married couples, how do we apply the principle of open communication in improving our relationship?
Excellent. The reality is this. You will have conflict. You will have disagreements. What is so sad is many couples are shocked and surprised when they have disagreements. So the tendency is to back off, to withdraw. When you do that, it gets worse. For us, we have a habit. If we disagree, we pray about it, and then we sit down and discuss. And when I notice my wife is becoming so, shall we say, excited or emotionally involved, I do my best. I just keep quiet. I allow her to cool off. Or I will tell her, let's discuss this topic another time. So the timing, but the man, we are responsible to really help our wife process this because the wives are usually more emotional. And I always tell my wife, respect is crucial. I must show respect. She must show respect. The problem with many couples, we take each other for granted. Remember, familiarity breeds contempt. And that is not good. The moment my wife is adjusting her tone, no longer showing respect, I'll remind her in a polite way. I say, watch your tone, baby.
I think also we have developed the habit of asking, how can I improve? This opens conversation. You're giving a person permission actually to correct you. And it helps us to really know each other better and how we can become better and being the wife or the husband that God has created us to be. So if I ask, how can I improve? I have to make a commitment to listen and not react, to really sincerely want to know. And the tagline is, we have to remember that we have nothing to prove. We have a lot to improve. So that's how we keep our communication open. When he tells me something, I'll say, Sonny, honey, I'm sorry. Yes, I will try to improve in this area. Please pray for me and forgive me if I've hurt you.
This is so crucial. When somebody's speaking, the other should just keep quiet. Don't defend. Just listen.
When you defend, you actually slam the door on open communication. That's a reaction. So they don't want to tell you anymore. So you have to listen humbly.
That's right. I remember Candy before also mentioned that, because God hears her thoughts, she doesn't really have to say it immediately because God knows her thoughts already. So that helps her really quiet down and listen intently.
You just uttered an amazing principle. It's called timing. You see, sometimes you can say the same thing, but the wrong time. That's not so good.
And we have to remind ourselves that we are not the enemy. So that's really important. And thank
We're on
you.
the same team.
We're batting on the same team.
So this next question actually comes from the CCF Instagram. That's at CCF Main, for those of you who haven't followed the account yet. So here's a question. What if your parents don't want to cultivate an open communication with you?
The reality is you cannot force the other to open up. What you can do is pray, speak gently, kindly, and allow God to work in the hearts of your parents, because you cannot force even your own children to open up. If they don't feel like opening up, give them time.
I think that one thing you can do as a child, one of the things that does open communication is begin to learn how to appreciate, affirm your parents. Like, just tell them, I've been thinking about you, Mom, and I really appreciate all the hard work you do for our family or for your father. This is something that will be a kickstart maybe to open communication.
Just really opening up the platform for everyone to voice out their opinions. And I loved how earlier you were both talking about that, really affirming your children, right? And encouraging that kind of communication in the household, which we all carry until our adulthood, like a crying adult that happens, right? We're so comfortable with communication that way. But of course, now that we're all at home, a lot of us are using the Go Viral process to disciple as well. And we also have the Motivate book that we could use. So how do you think the Go Viral process and the Motivate can go hand in hand in our discipleship during this time?
What we have done is we have made the Motivate workbook into a Go Viral format. So the Go Viral verses
OBBS.
are now based on Motivate. So it's not really another. It's really the same thrust of Go Viral, but the material is Motivate.
And it's downloadable free from our site.
And it's so easy to disciple now because we can communicate through online with
Yes.
people all over.
There are a lot of platforms that allow us to disciple one another and talk to one another right now. So that's amazing.
Yes, thank you, Pastor Peter and
Thank
Auntie
you.
Diona, for all your answers. And of course, to our CCF fam, if you want to watch our full video, please don't forget to go to the CCF main YouTube channel and to see more resources. God bless you and happy Lord's Day.